available, and the turnout is not all of that. But clearly now we can see the young ladies want to be part, not only playing football but officiating and making a mark of the local game.
Yeah, there's been a bigger emphasis on Lincoln Phillip into the box. They're very dangerous. He's somebody. Oh, and the deflection looks like he wanted to put it across for his strike partner Siobhan King. A deflection off of the. It looks like of the number 6 there. Let's check the replay out. Yeah, it looks like of the number 6 for LABORIE. Zephaniah Edwin, he's the captain, unfortunately. Looks like that may just go down as an own goal. We'll get the official word from the officials soon enough.
And what I really like about the goal, Eli, is the maturity that Lincoln Phillip showed.
Yes.
Normally, if it was a young player, you'd have probably strike from way out, but he showed that he could have get himself between the defender, have that ball in front of him, and just kept on using his weight, his momentum to carry him into the surface. And when you get into the 6-yard area, that is where the mayhem starts. The defender was a bit skeptical, the goalkeeper was a bit skeptical, but that little just touch there, that fortuitous touch, was able to get that ball at the back of the net, and that is what you need in those competitions. We mentioned how Lincoln can score goals. That is the experience and maturity of Lincoln Phillip.
Yeah, and last season, critic Marsha was also in the opening fixture against Babono. They played all of the football, but Babono scored the goal. And that goal is officially credited to Lincoln Phillip, number 14 for Marsha in the 13th minute of play. King there trying to get on the ball. He'll have to be a little stronger than that. The officials are not going to blow a foul for him in that scenario.
Certainly he has to be stronger. The tackles will be coming in. Again, good refereeing there by the official. Right on the spot. Right there to make that call.
Marsha should be buoyed a little bit by that strike there by Lincoln. Just speaking about him being an ageless wonder. He also participates in the Veteran Football League as well.
You may have used the Veterans Football League to prepare.
As a precursor.
Or further prepare. Yeah, he knows how to find the back of the net. And he again, you know, he will be a name that you're going to be hearing a lot when Marsha plays. He's going to be a name that's going to be featured throughout the season 2. So look out for Lincoln. But again, like you mentioned, I don't think that the LABORIE team can keep their head down under the conditions. I think they have really kept themselves to a certain extent. Here's a raid by them.
LABORIE again, yes.
Trying to get that ball into the area. They just won themselves a corner.
So if the Phillip name sounds familiar, the son of Lincoln Phillip has been making waves over there in the U.S. Donovan Phillip, we know him as Gusto Man, has been making waves over there in the U.S. So even when Lincoln hangs his boots up, his legacy is continuing.
That's right. It's a football goes through their veins, and of course, like it's often said, Eli, when you are a goal scorer, you must. It's not even blood you have. Basically, it says like it's ice. Ice goes through your veins because you have to have that composure in front of goal. You know, I often said that one of the hardest things to do is score goals in football, but Lincoln has it down to a T.
Marsha again on the ball there and trying to get through the surface. Should hold that one up just enough. But the LABORIE player out Fox in there, and there is wild grades. Oh, that was number 20 that just came in there. Jovan Victor.
Good strength by the left back for Marsha, while Grace, number 21. There's another corner, another set play there for the Marsha team. Earlier on, we saw not the best of free kicks or the best of corners taken by the Marsha team. Let's see if they can get better, at least put that ball in the penalty spot area to create chances.
Yeah, and as Valsin, number 2, the attacking midfielder and captain, about to take that corner. The official having a bit of difficulty with her gear. Semi-Pro Football League introduced the intercom system with officials, allowing them to communicate more seamlessly. Critic, that formation by Marshall seems to be causing a little bit of a problem for Labrie at the moment, not being able to pick up players. Marshall players are finding little pockets of space. You know, the last team I think I saw play at Diamond was Real Madrid.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I guess the coaching staff of the Labrie team will have to figure out what they need to do. But what it does with this formation, Eli, is that players more movement, and that is what's killing Labrie right now.
Yeah.
If you look at the central midfielder, when he gets that ball from Marshall, he has enough time to look left and right. Thereby, options are available, but that is sought out because of the formation and the constant movement by the Marshall team. So then again, the Labrie team has some homework to do. Let's look at this. He should be called offside. Yes. A little more patience should be. But again, you see the movement. The movement is within the attack and within the midfield. So clearly, Labrie has a lot of work to do. But the number 6, who is the skipper, who skippers the Labrie team, seems to be the one having an eye of what's happening. But he is the sweeper. He needs somebody in front of him to do that work for him, and then he comes to mop up. So let's see how he's going to continue for all the 90 minutes. But Labrie have some adjustments to make.
Well, so far, despite the trying conditions, the football seems to be starting to take shape. We can clearly see what the Marshall team is trying to do. Labrie has been somewhat resolute to some extent, has had a foray or two into the Marshall attacking third. We see the ball cleared out there. And Labrie is on the ball again, building the attack. Zach Boland was on the ball just there, the number 8. They'll be looking to play through him. Marshall wins the ball again. The water just holding up the ball there, unfortunately.
But again, you could see the spaces being created.
Yeah.
They can run down the channels. They can put the ball into space. It's just that sad that the ground is soggy and the ball is being held up. But if Marshall can get some good outlet passes to the attackers, Labrie could be in some trouble.
Foul there by the number 18 for Labrie. Marshall gets a free kick in a slightly dangerous position. Definitely a position in which they can put the ball into the box. We'll see how high of a line this Labrie team plays and how much space they will give the goalkeeper to run onto that ball and claim anything that's dumped into the box.
I don't know if you've realized, but the Labrie team now, they're doubling up on Lincoln. So it shows that somebody may have just sent that message that, he needs to have more attention around him. They're trying to put on some size on him.
Nice clearance by Labrie, just starting off that break immediately. Not making the best of it.
Better choice of pass could have worked out. But again, because of that little press there by Marshall not giving you a full press because of the soggy conditions. Sort of like a medium press, Eli, because you don't want to overcommit yourself, because one feint or one slip could lead into Labrie getting past the defenders. And here we see Labrie on the charge. Bit of a slight tackle there. No foul by the official. He signals in a corner for Labrie. But I also want to make mention. Often we hear the word press. Some guys are saying that you need to press, but you need to press smartly. And this is a situation now where either team cannot give you a full press because of the conditions.
Yeah, we've seen particularly the Marshall team, they're sort of like in a mid-press.
That's correct.
And not going all out, and rightfully so. They are goal to the good. So they kind of want Labrie to come onto them and leave space in behind so that they could exploit that. Labrie would have had that header there off target.
But they've been getting a lot of corners down there. So should they be able to get one right? Who knows, Eli? A chance just might fall their way. It's something that the Marshall team needs to be aware of.
Yeah, Marshall would have struggled last season, particularly in goal, with their regular goalkeeper not available for a good portion of the season. Shem Donnelly is in goal right now. He started off the season in goal for Marshall and got injured during the course of the season, missed the last few games, and they really struggled. I don't want to say it was absolutely the fault of the goalkeeper. There was some shoddy defending by them as well during the course of the season, and your goalkeeper is always just as good as the 4 defenders in front of him.
Indeed. And he's been keeping goal for Marshall for quite some time. So clearly the defenders, they have a lot of trust in him. And like you mentioned, we don't want to put the blame game and say because of this. But goalkeepers or your first string goalkeeper is very, very critical. There you go.
Taking out his own player in the process. But that's kind of what you want. And Lincoln is in behind. And
a little toll there, taking him back if you want to wipe off 10 years from it.
I was about to say, he just looked like he was missing a yard of pace there, but it looked like he was missing about 2.5 yards.
Yeah, had he got onto that ball before the defender, it would be something to look forward to. But again, you could see Marshall clearly playing to plan. Should you get this outlet pass correct to Lincoln, something can happen.
Marshall plays just a little sharper there, but you could see the water holding the ball up there and making the play a little bit difficult. They're trying to play the ball all along the ground and play some nice, touch football, but the conditions are proving a little bit difficult. They may have to just get that ball a little lofted a little bit more.
That's right. That's where the technique comes in. You might have to use your toes, Eli, the front part of your boots, just to get just a little kick off the surface rather than using the inside of your foot or your side foot.
Zote, you said?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't want to say it, but you said it for me. This is where the Zote comes into play, These are little techniques you develop when you learn the game. And today, clearly, is a day for the Zote.
Of course, our match commissioner today, Mr. Chad Daisy. Also, a number of match commissioners certified by the SLFA during the course of last season. So, definitely trying to build the capacity. Football is the most played sport on Ireland. Several competitions are ongoing. I think, as a matter of fact, the Castries Youth League, Lucia BOSL League, would have come to a culmination today. Finals were between yesterday and today. We also saw the V4 South League as well.
That's last night.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of football. It's been a lot of football happening, and you need the officials, you need the match commissioners to manage all of those games.
We have to use all of our resources. Of course, you will see new names and new persons coming into the fray, but it's all as a result of ensuring, that all are available. Like you mentioned, Eli, it is the most played sport on the island, so definitely you have to use the officials. Every aspect of the game needs to be covered. And again, I mentioned earlier, kudos to the SLFA. So they tussle right there, Eli. But again, the young player showing how confident and strong he rode those 2 tackles. And this comes with belief. This comes with your practice, believing in yourself. He turned on a dime to a certain extent, but the defense of the LABORIE team just were not able to deliver a little trickery towards the end. And again, composure showed, and here you have it, Marshall team going up too.
Well, they say fortune favors the brave. And we just spoke about it earlier on in the matchup. The twin strikers for Marshall pulling wide, allowing that central area for the captain, Naz Valse, who is the attacking midfielder at the head of that diamond space. And we just saw it there. We saw Lincoln Phillip put a ball in That was sort of defended halfway by LABORIE. All right, ball comes back into the feet of Naz Valse, who's straight down the middle, and as you indicated, he uses strength there to ride those 2 tackles, and maybe you might consider him fortunate, but fortune favors the brave.
Yeah, good skill there. Earlier we spoke with Marlon Daisy saying that Valse have scored a lot of goals all over the place as a youngster, and again that builds your confidence, that builds your belief. So I'm happy that it's bearing fruit with the way that Valse has continued with his plying his trade, and now on the opening day he has got himself a goal.
Yeah. And Marsha again on the attack, playing that ball wide out to the right flank, and they're barreling down on a LABORIE team there. Nelson William there.
Marshall's clearly, Eli, up for this game. You know, one thing to be practicing when you get your opening game at your facility, at your ground, it certainly shows that they're really up for it. They're eager. Everybody is basically chipping in and ensuring that they playing their part in this game.
The official time of that goal is the 20th minute, so we're just about halfway through this first half of action on the night of the Semi-Pro Football League right here at the Mindo Phillip Park. You are watching the live stream that's on the Semi-Pro channel. Let me say a warm welcome to you. Of course, we encourage you to share with your friends and family, people in the diaspora who are eagerly anticipating the start of the Semi-Pro Football League. It's here.
It's definitely here. Season 2 offers to be more exciting than Season 1. If you think Season 1 was a cracker, well, this time we go a jack box. Sometimes Eli, we take, I wouldn't say we take stuff for granted, but clearly you can see the investment by the St. Lucia government to introduce the Semi-Pro League. It clearly shows that we're moving in the right direction.
Yes.
Because now the youngsters there is something to look forward to. There's an interesting build up there coming down the left side. Looks to turn back to here is he trying a shot from way out. Not bad at all. Still not able to get that ball cleared. Marsha still in contention, still have that ball towards themselves, and finally an infringement and the ball way up. But I was just making the point, Eli, that the government made that investment, and clearly you could see it's bearing fruit, how the youngsters now, there is something to look forward to as a footballer. You could say, well, you left school and you want to be part of the Semi-Pro to further your journey, and clearly it's a start of a journey for a lot of youngsters. Yeah,
we also saw the launch of the Semi-Pro Cricket League earlier this year as well. So the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports and Government of St. Lucia definitely starting to make sports pay for a lot of youngsters. We will very often hear that, sports doesn't pay, and people kind of drop out, lose interest. Sometimes work life takes over, so having the ability to earn some sort of living from any sort of semi-professional setup, as well as being seen of young Matthew Edward, who is over there in England right now with Fleetwood Town on trial. And we also heard about Damani Berthia being scouted by Premier League Cavalier FC, athletes team. There's a matter of them being seen via the live streaming of this pro football, as Marsha is barreling down again, trying to chip that one in across for Lincoln, who feels like he should have probably taken it down instead of trying to go one time, critic.
Yeah, I think so. I think he didn't realize how much time he had. But again, this happens because defenders were, on his back, and also he had his partner number 9 in the middle as well. He could have just slipped him through as well. But again, it shows the constant movement of the Marsha team, causing mayhem for the LABORIE team. We just mentioned young players getting opportunities, and this is the platform for them. Because, you speak about those games being online and those games being available on our platform. Clearly, scouts are watching. You mentioned Vino. Vino, of course, could mention some of the local players who he think can step up to the plate. So you have a variety of things that can happen to youngsters when they play in the Semi-Pro League.
Yeah, and it's a little too straight with that pass there. Saw what he was trying to do, trying to get King in behind. A few things have have evolved with the semi-pro football league. This season, we're not going to see the sort of fixture pile-up that we saw last season, where some teams would have played 4 and 5 fixtures and other teams have only played 1 or 2. It's much going to mirror what we see in professional global football, where every week you'll have a round of matches. So every single team will play at least one game every single week, which I think makes, better for the action, makes better for teams to plan and navigate the season. There's also something new in store for the patrons as well. Court Unicoma has come on board, and they also have provided an AKT motorcycle critic. So one lucky patron of the semi-pro football league, and of course you have to purchase your ticket to be in the running. The more tickets you purchase, the more opportunity you get to win that AKT motorcycle.
In the biking, you mean?
All right. Yeah, so a lot going on there. Let me just see if I could recap some of the sponsors of this year's semi-pro football league. Of course, the SLFA and Ministry of Youth Development and Sports are mainstay. They're the administrators of the league. But of course, the National Lotteries Authority, they're always on hand. Anything good. Invest St. Lucia is on there. Order Shop St. Lucia, Brothers Cider. Bank of St. Lucia, we've seen come on as a new sponsor. Of course, ES Productions, they're the ones responsible for this that you see in here. So slowly but surely the brand is building, Critic, and Corporate St. Lucia is recognizing the value of the semi-pro football league, and they are slowly but surely getting on board, and we sort of seeing the growth of the league in year 2.
And that's what we want. We want growth, as a matter of fact. We want the youngsters to, look forward to playing in the semi-pro league. And of course, the Corporate St. Lucia, certainly with the new sponsors, building some faith in what is, investment in the young persons. So certainly that is so welcome, Eli. That should be a shot from out of the area, snapshot. A little better, probably Marshall still retains possession, that ball. Just keeping it together. Basically, just using up the time on the clock. And this is another important factor in football, Eli, game management, time management. Yes, the game is 90 minutes, but you have to ensure that you maximize the areas and the pitch, the time. You don't go full gung-ho when you play those sort of games. When if a 2-0 lead, this is a situation where players can, of course, regroup and try to get back some energy to deal with the second half. But meantime, we'll see a searching pass there from LABORIE going to the right side, right flank. He should be looking infield from some sort of support, plays upfield. Tackle comes in. The referee, of course, right there again. Good position. She's right there.
Reaching for a pocket too.
That's correct. Because it came sort of to the side to a certain extent, but what is important, Eli, is the positioning of the referee was right there to see what is available. So again, defenders now need to keep themselves in check. The ground is slippery. Stay on your feet. Stay on your feet as much as you can. Do not go into those tackles just for going sake. It's a situation where it wasn't goal threatening. You had enough time to get goal side and delay the passage of play.
Particularly as nobody's running away with the ball today in the conditions. That's a yellow card for Jarvis Joseph of Marsha, the number 3. A low ball driven in and almost causing some problems there for Marsha. But Marsha will be happy with what they've been doing thus far. LABORIE will feel like they're not really out of the game, but they've not been able to make that telling pass just yet. That telling passage of play to give them a real opportunity. Outside of that one header we saw from the corner, they've not really threatened the goal of Marsha as yet in the first half.
Yes, indeed, Eli. They have made some forays up top, but they have not really gotten to the box area to put some threat in terms of Marsha being able to be so desperate. We still see Marsha keeping possession. And we see a neat build up there by by Lincoln, just putting his ball through, comes back into him. Still showing possession. That ball should be coming through a cross right now. No one's available, but
Over the head of
we
Young
see,
King.
yeah, we see Labrie doing good, but we're not seeing Labrie causing any clear-cut opportunities apart from that ball which went across the goal area. But a situation where making a half chance a chance, we just have not seen it just as yet.
I still think Labrie has not come to terms with what this Marshall team is doing. There's no striker in the middle per se for the central defenders of the Labrie team to mark. They sort of pull wide and double up with the wide midfield of the diamond on the flanks. Marshall are doing, and sort of outnumbering the left back, pulling the holding midfielder of Labrie to one side as well, and to a certain extent sort of even pulling the central defenders out of position as well. And they've not been able to come to grips with what's happening, not been able to make that adjustment, Critic.
Yeah, it's tough, because earlier on I heard some instructions from the Labrie bench, but it seems to have not caught on field as yet. So clearly when they get into the halftime situation, when they get into the dressing room, they will have to drill this information to the Labrie players that they need to come to grips with what Marshall is doing. Look how easy it is for the midfielder to just get a ball in midfield, turn and make a pass. No one seems to be reading the situation. But like I said, it's a game of chances. It's a game of, like chess. You have to read what your opponent is doing and see how you can counter. But so far it's been difficult for Labrie. And I can see Marchand, barring no injuries, if Lincoln stays on, and some of the key players in midfield, that score could increase.
Marshall is also attacking heavily on the left flank. We've seen the ball go down the left flank quite a bit. And Raheem Alcindor, a.k.a. Wild Grains, we just saw him again. Time and time again, he's been able to get into attacking areas, because when they do pick up the wide left midfield of the diamond and the striker, then they're still outnumbered.
Yeah, and it's interesting enough too, Eli. The left back is not a left footer. I don't know if he's not. So if you have a player who's, all these are little things that you could pick up. You as the right back could see that, hey, he's not too strong with his left foot. Let me send him the other side. But these are little things that you pick up. This comes with experience. So, but again, good observation there. A lot of attack is being drilled. It's a situation.
And
keep humbling this one, Eli. We spoke about it.
Labrie taking advantage of that.
Yes. A ball which he should have dealt with so much better. Just probably used the one hand to get this ball out of the area.
But punched it out.
That's right, but he went with both, and thereby not even making contact. And the attacker for the Labrie team just stayed in the area and was gifted.
And we were just saying that Labrie would feel that they're not out of this game as yet. And there we go. It's 2-1. We'll get the official goal scorer in just a little bit. That's Zach Boland.
So now, Eli, with that goal being scored, the halftime team talk is going to change. Now he want to drill in some motivational speeches, some stay with it speeches. We can do this speeches. So it's easy. It shows how the game can change on a dime. How our game can change so quickly. We were just speaking about Marshall increasing, and that goal now changes the whole composition of the game.
Yeah, the Marshall team has retreated pretty deeply right now, and there seems to be just a little bit more energy in the play of this Labrie team. 38th minute goal. Ball into the box again, and Lincoln Phillip there to head that one out.
We see Lincoln actually being out there trying to defend as well. At the other side of his game, you could see the little applause coming in now from the Labrie team. So thereby showing they're up for the fight.
Yeah, Marshall pegged back at the moment, and a little bit of pressure there after conceding that goal. Free kick into the box, and now they are still camped in their attacking third, Marshall's defensive third. And that looks like a goal kick, so pressure alleviated for Marshall just a little bit there. As we sort of about 5 minutes out from stoppage time in the first half. It's 2-1, 2-1 in favor of this Marshall outfit. It's match 1 in Tier 2 action of the Semi-Pro Football League. see a foul coming in there.
Yeah, I know that would result in a card as well, because again, to Eli, if you're an attacker and the wing back is trying to go up the line, you leave that alone, because there's no danger in what he's trying to do. So that's like a senseless card by the attacker there from LABORIE. And these are little things that players need to, not bring into the games. I'm not saying that you cannot tackle, but look at the scheme. You just scored a goal. You're trying to,
Particularly in the conditions.
you just, you have to think.
So that was the striker Zachary Joseph in the 40th minute, picking up that yellow card. I think both teams will feel that there's something in the game for them. Siobhan King now on the ball, getting an opportunity, and there he just tries to chip that one in. All air, and another attempt there by Nas Valsen, this time off his left foot, sailing over the bar.
Seems to be very nippy on his feet, Eli. Interesting enough too, he wears number 2. And these days, Eli, the numbers don't define the positions. Number 2 would have been a right back position. But now players choose numbers that they feel comfortable with. And now we see the Marshall goalkeeper. He would be very upset at himself, knowing fully well that he could have done better. I guess instructions will come from his goalkeeping coach on what he should have done. It's a chance, of course, they could go back on the stream and see what took place. So there's a lot that they can correct with the advent of those games being streamed, and coaches now having go back to the replay. So there's a lot that they can see in terms of technicality. Asha continues.
Of course, something else that was built on from last season. It'll be a double of league action. So last season, teams got to play 9. Season will be 18 games. More the players, and of course, will culminate in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. So it's good to see that the league has progressed, and the league, of course, have adopted certain logistics to ensure there's more playing time, more quality, more depth into what they're trying to do. So it's certainly a long season. However, it is valued, raising the stakes in terms of the positioning, teams trying to get up from tier 2 to make their way into tier 1. Those in tier 1 don't want to get relegated. So with all those games, Eli, again too, this is a way that when you watch the fixture list, the coaches, you could map your way to progress and to meet your objectives. And
we've seen Lincoln Phillip again navigating his way through 3 defenders.
That was a dangerous tackle there.
Nasty tackle. Let's see what the official will say here. It's a yellow card. Mm-hmm. Definitely the physio may need to come on there. That's the number 11, Joshua Leos for Marsha, on the wrong end of that tackle. And he's not one to stay down. Mm-hmm. And he's writhing in pain right now. It doesn't look good for young Leos.
Yeah, because remember, it is slippery. And again, earlier when I mentioned that not all tackle warranted to go. Once you go down, it's very difficult to control what it is. And clearly you could see he got to the shin area, and those shin pads these days are minute. So definitely there will be some impact. But again, I
think his foot was properly planted too.
Yeah. So it's a little desperation there in terms of the tackling.
And there you go. You see the physio flexing his knee.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he's right.
Normally when your foot is planted and you get a tackle, a joint is going to get affected. Mm-hmm. Your knee, your ankle, and you could see the knee being flexed and the ankle being flexed there. Hopefully it's something he can recover from. A very important player. He's one of the players that was ever present for Marsha during last season. He's up on his feet. That's good to see. Tough cookie.
He's a strong lad as well.
Tough cookie, yeah.
He's very, very, very strong. So before it used to be the magic sponge, but now it's the magic spray. But again, some good intervention right there again too. And these are some of the areas Marsha needs to look into. Look and see who has those cards, those tackles, and you could use some trickery and see how best you can get to the head of the defenders of LABORIE.
For
Like if you have a very good free kick with a lot of pace whipped into the area, cause some trouble on defending there for LABORIE.
well, Lincoln is also very proficient with his head. So they'll definitely be looking for him. You could see literally 4 players surrounding Lincoln Phillip in just about on the penalty spot. And that ball whipped in there with a lot of pace, as you indicated, Critic. Nice ball spread out there by Marchand. Chipped in on the outside of the foot. Interesting ball in.
Not bad at all. Clearly he's a defender, but have a go. Why not?
Kevin Francis there for Marchand. He would have chipped that ball in with the outside of sort of the left flank, not all the way over, but sort of from the left flank, and then having a go there.
That is your halftime whistle, Eli. Clearly now we've seen the Marchand team stay up 2-1. A little bit of disappointment in terms of how they conceded that goal. But you know how football is. You have those situations. What would be now is for the players to get refreshed, taking new instructions for the second half. But Marchand in itself showed a good measure of football despite the conditions. But LABORIE would not be too disappointed, although they conceded sort of not soft, but goals that they wouldn't want to be part and parcel with. But that goal in itself will give them a measure of hope.
Yeah, we'll take a break ourselves, an opportunity to water the throat as we take in a word from some of our sponsors.
Dream big, make it your own. Home Sweet gets you any style of home. Be yourself saying home sweet home with a home sweet mortgage. You are number one. Home sweet, home quest, home flex, home switch. Need a new home, we get it. Home sweet, home quest, home flex, home switch. Act now when you won't regret it. POSL. Bank of St. Lucia's enhanced home sweet mortgages are designed around you. Home Flex, a home equity line of credit. Home Quest, for professionals building new dreams. And Home Switch, time to bring your mortgage home to us. Home Sweet Mortgages, make it your own. Home Sweet, Home Quest, Home Flex, Home Switch. Need a new home, we get it. POSL. For more information, call 456-6999 or go to bankofstlucia.com. POSL.
In the heart of every community lies a dream waiting to come true as a journey begins. We dribble through life's hurdles, breaking down its barriers, looking beyond the horizon. Lessons are learned, friendships are forged, and strength is birthed from within. Beyond tactics and goals, we strive as a team. With discipline and perseverance, we advance. Through every kick, stumble, and victory, our lives are changing, and together we rise.
It's not just a game. Football is our life.
The St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League, leveraging football to transform lives.
This is the Semi-Pro Football League. Feel the passion, feel the vibe. Leveraging football to transform lives. St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League. Let's go! One shot to create your greatness. It's your time to make your name. It's more than just a way of life. This is more than just a game. This is one more reason why we unite with each other. So here comes one more season. This is football to unite the world. When we come alive, we just excite the world. Celebrate emotions and ignite the world. Let's make sure everybody knows. It's the Semi-Pro League and this is what we love. Let's go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is what we love. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is what we love. Let's play. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is what we love. This is a beautiful game and this is what we love. St. Lucia Semi-Pro Football League.
Leveraging football to transform lives.
My journey into business began in one of the hardest moments of my life. In 2020, I lost my job from the hotel industry and my husband was temporarily laid off from his.
As a couple with young kids, at the time, we had to ensure that we had a steady income.
We decided to convert the lower floor of my home into vacation rentals. But we needed support to grow.
The credit union couldn't go any further and financing felt out of reach.
But everything changed when we were introduced to Elite Builders Capital, a product made just for us from Bank of St. Lucia.
With their help, we completed our last 2 units. 2 of our villas were inspired by our kids, Melo for Melody and Samo for Samuel.
Now we have 6 fully furnished villas ready for more guests.
And back to live action right here at the Mindufili Park. The second half contest between Marsha and LABORIE. Marsha in the red and black and LABORIE in the orange. Score is 2-1 in favor of the Marsha team, the home team. Good little crowd at the Mindufili Park taking in the opening night of season 2 of the semi-pro league. Two teams trying to jostle for position from the opening day because those points are so vital, Eli. 3 points on the opening day will surely put you in good stead.
LABORIE already making an adjustment at the half. Number 12, Armani Francis, being substituted for number 7, Eden Modest. So let's see if there'll be a little tweak in their formation as well to see how they can cope with the movement of this Marsha team.
And that's important because you're down 1. You would be, of course, buoyed by that late goal in the first half. So again, is that change tactical or is it mere an injury? We'll find out. Meantime, possession for Marsha going towards the left side. Sort of a loose pass. Ball going out of touch.
So we saw Marsha heavy with their attacks down the left flank in the first half of this fixture. You know, there's an old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let's see if it'll be more of the same, or if LABORIE will make the requisite adjustment and force Marsha to do something different.
Yeah, we'll find out. Early days in the first half. Still a bit of soggy conditions at the Mindufili Park. Players need to adjust, have the right footwear. Defenders need not take feints, stay on their feet. A lot's happening. Attackers using different techniques to get the better of their opponent.
Infraction there by Marsha. Free kick to LABORIE. They'll be looking to put the ball into the danger area there. Number 9, Zachary Joseph will be looking to get on the end of that, being marshaled by Kevin Francis there. Good movement by him, and he just slides, and good save by the Marsha custodian. Shem Donnelly tipping that one over. Zachary Joseph just slipped at the last moment. He would have hoped he would have been able to get his head onto that, but it was the number 5, Lamar William from LABORIE, with that header. Just tipped over the bar by Shem Donnelly there, and LABORIE with their tails up early in the second half.
Sure bet. Again, I don't know if you realize, but the LABORIE team seems to be edging it in terms of height. So clearly set plays could be something we could look forward to, that they can pride themselves on. Seem to have some tall players within the LABORIE setup. So who knows, set plays may just be the way to get back into this encounter.
Marsha also not being able to hold on to the ball as well as they did in the early goings of the first half, and LABORIE coming to grips with the conditions, lofting that ball over the water there, and good ball spread just towards the wide area there and cleared out by Kevin Francis. But LABORIE is right now in the ascendancy. Marsha are the ones searching for answers early in the second half.
Indeed, Eli, Marsha not able to compose themselves and have their formation corrected. And of course, streaming passes together, but we see the LABORIE team taking advantage of that situation. Here's the ball. And you could see, of course, the goalkeeper for the Marsha team instructions and not get rattled by this possession from the LABORIE team. It is still 2-1 in their favor. And again, Eli, this is where you need the experience. You need somebody from the back to calm the nerves of the team. And let us regain composure to deal with the onslaught. Because again, Eli, you mentioned earlier, the game is 90 minutes and you're not going to have the ball throughout the full 90. So you need to sustain that pressure that Marshall is under right now.
And that ball lofted into the area again, dangerously. And again, Kevin Francis with the clearance for Marshall. He's been busy at the back early in the second half. In the first half, we saw him crossing the ball and taking a shot on goal. And now he's been true to his position. He's defending.
Yeah, a little pressure there from Marshall all around. So, again, these are spells they have to deal with.
Lincoln Phillip on there and kicked more in hope than expectation.
Yeah, this one was way beyond. Should have continued carrying that football or try to make an inward pass, but to kick under these conditions from way out would be very difficult.
Labrie now building from the back. Getting the ball down there left. Intercepting. Ball at this point. Raheem Alcindor trying to get it up the field for Siobhan King. Conceding possession. Game is getting just a little scrappy now. In the middle of the park there. Both teams jostling for possession. Infraction going in favor of the Marshall team. And McLeod Polius is pushing his team up the park and about to take that free kick.
Yeah, he's the main guy at the back. I think his nickname is Veteran. That's how long he's been around. He seems to be the one. He used to be a wing defender. This time I've seen him being deployed as a centre back. So that shows maturity and experience. Seems to be the one marshalling that team from behind, ensuring that players keep their lines and keep their distance. He's a very good player. I'm trying to remember his father's name, but his father would have played for Lancers. Oh, good gosh. But it will come to me, but he was a national player as well. He'll come to me eventually, but he's from a good football family as well. Yeah, so it's always well and good, Eli, when you have youngsters who follow suit, you know. That their dad, their brother, somebody in the family play football at a high level.
Yeah.
You see those youngsters follow suit, you know.
Labrie trying to put that ball in again, deep from the left flank and just on top of the box. Francis again with the clearance. He's been very key for Marshall in the early going of this second half.
Clearly, Eli, you could see what that goal has caused for the Labrie team. They're so growing into confidence right now. Now they're getting passes in between, intricate passes in between, causing a little problem there for Marshall. That is the experience there by the centre back.
Polius, they're just shielding his man off. I think Labrie have also come to grips with what this Marshall team is doing, and they now finding the gaps, finding the spaces when Marshall tries to foray forward. Marshall not as compact as they were in the first half. In the first half, relatively easy and spurring on their attacks, and they're having a lot of difficulty getting to grips with this Labrie team in the second half. So we've seen adjustments being made by the Labrie squad.
I think also too they're buoyed by the energy. You know, you spoke about moments in the game, and clearly we could see the duels are not being won by Marshall anymore. They may have just dropped the shoulders a bit, thereby now giving the Labrie team a little more impetus into this game right now. Labrie certainly challenging every single ball. Even the press has changed. It was a mid, but now they're sort of like a mid to high to a certain extent, challenging Marshall now to get onto the football and make something happen. There's an interesting pass to the right side, Lincoln.
Into the box and ball across.
The cross from Lincoln would have caused a little problem there, right there. This is the one instance in the second half that we have seen Marshall take it to the Labrie team, but as of now, in terms of exchanges, the Labrie seem to have had the better exchange in the opening foray of the second half.
Foul called there by the match official. It looks like a free kick in favor of Marsha. Marsha will be relieved. They get an opportunity to put a ball into a dangerous area. Still up 2-1. All 3 goals scored in the first half of play. Lincoln Phillip and Naz Valse on the score sheet for Marsha. And Zach Boland for Labrie pulling one back off of a corner. Clearance botched by the Marsha keeper, and of course Boland was on hand to accept all gifts.
Yeah, it's one thing to get a gift and one thing to execute. Clearly Boland was up to it. Free kick situation there for Marsha. Should we see a left footer or right footer into this one, Eli?
Looks like it's sort of better suited for the right footer, but with a 3-man wall from Labrie, who knows, the left footer might favor his opportunities. A dead ball goes in.
A little more power onto this one.
Of course, we're here at the Mindu Phillip Park, formerly Victoria Park. That was many moons ago. Even before I was a thought for my parents. At one point in time, the island's major sporting facility. Of course, now we have the likes of the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground and previously the George Odlem Stadium as well. Alcindor running that one out of play.
Marsha was caught up on the left side a bit too long. They may have made that switch.
So foul there. And the referee reaching for her pocket again. This time to the number 20, it looks like Javon Victor. Victor will be the victim of the referee's card.
But interesting enough to, before she even dished out the card to young Victor, she had some words with him, and this is very encouraging. Many a times we see officials just dish out and not explain. So clearly Victor would have said that, you know, I didn't do this or I didn't do that.
He showed a little dissent.
There you go.
Yeah.
But she actually trying to explain to him, and this is good. This is a measure of how you learn the game as a player, and she too now administering what she learned in her courses to ensure that the players are fully aware of what's happening.
Yeah, Marsha now looking like it's a 2-man wall for them. The recipient of the card, Javon Victor, and Raheem Alcindor in that wall. And ball comes in again in a dangerous area. And Lincoln Phillip this time, it looks like. No, it. Well, Labrie saying it came off of Lincoln Phillip, but it's a goal kick for Marsha.
Marsha need to relax a bit. Marsha needs someone to the back to dish out instructions to the entire team to relax. You know, you're still in control of the game, but you know, dishing out at one another when it's not going to help. What you need now is, you know, to keep calm and see how best you could get back into this game or to maintain the lead.
Kevin Francis seems very comfortable on the ball. They've started off the Lincoln Phillip getting into the box there right now. Very dangerous player, very tricky player. And just touching, and the goalkeepers tipped that one into his own net. Let's see how this one will be credited. Looks like an own goal from my vantage point. The critic coming from the... It looks like Lincoln was trying to cross that ball. Definitely he was at the byline, so that definitely was not a shot attempt. Looking to get that ball across, it looks like for Valse, who was on the far post. Goalkeeper tipping that one in. So a couple of goalkeeping errors, both leading to goals in this game. 3-1 to the boys from Marsha.
Yeah, but you see, Eli, the goalkeeper anticipated a cross. It was a cross, however, the awkward positioning of the goalkeeper threw him off a bit because that ball didn't come across with so much power, but because of the weight it came into him, he basically didn't know how to handle it. His best effort was trying to see if he could scoop it over the bar, but again, because of the way it was like a cross shot. it ended up behind the bar. But
Yeah.
Marshall will take it. Likewise, Lincoln 3-1 the lead.
And that's going to give a little reprieve to the Marshall team. They have been under the coach early in this second half. We're 15 minutes in. Haven't gotten the official word as yet, but surely it must be an own goal by Kendall Yard in goal for LABORIE.
You mean what Lincoln just did?
Yeah.
You think it's going to be an own goal? I think they might just credit it to Lincoln. Because it's like a shot on goal.
Well, he was at the byline. I mean,
Yeah, it's a shot on
he
goal.
literally crossed the ball from the byline. I don't think that was on target at all.
Well, let's see what the officials will make out of this one. But again, goal scorers, they will beg for this one. They will want it. They'll take it.
Of course, and if I were him, I would take it too.
Of course.
I would.
Of course.
I would also think that Kendall Yard would want to give it to him as well.
But despite the scoreline, Eli, the LABORIE team is not a bad outfit. I think what they have not come to grips, like we mentioned, the formation, the constant movement of the Marshall team, but also the conditions. The conditions are very, very, very hard to sort of try to play what you're accustomed of doing. Because, again, you're not only battling your opponent, but you're also battling the elements. It's like golf. So it's really, really tough out there for the players. But it seems that the Marshall team is more accustomed to playing under those conditions.
Well, I sort of have a slightly different take. If you notice, Lincoln has moved from the left flank to the right. And
But that's a movement.
the couple of times that Marshall was able to do something. And there's Lincoln again! This time straight at the goalkeeper. But a couple of times Marshall's looked dangerous. Just a couple of times it's come down the right flank. And all of their attacks were coming down the left flank previously. So it looks like Marshall now has made a further adjustment to the adjustments that LABORIE has made.
But what I'm saying also is that you've played a full half against Lincoln, so you by now know what he is. Not only that, if in your scouting report, in your looking to see who are the main players for Marshall, you would have heard of the name Lincoln Phillip, and you know his prowess in front of goal. So definitely you would have to have some sort of tactic to deal with Lincoln Phillip.
Of course, we always have a little surprise for you guys, particularly those of you viewing via the live stream. And it's an honor, it's a privilege for me to have, just for a short period of time, the Honorable Philip J. Pierre. He's not only the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, but he's also the Prime Minister of Castries East. Honorable Pierre, good evening.
Hey, good evening. Good evening. How are you?
Not too bad. Of course, government of St. Lucia would have put in a tidy sum, committed a tidy sum to the Semi-Pro Football League once again this year. The inaugural season seemed a huge success, and your government once again is backing this initiative.
Well, I know you will not see who you are supporting, but it's true one, right?
It's correct.
Sure. Now, I would like it to be. I nearly saw another one.
I must say, there's a big bias on this set right now, because both myself and the Prime Minister hail from East Castries. So, secretly I'm rooting for the Marshall team, and so is he.
Well, you see, I think that the tournament, the semi-professional league, started last year, and last year was a very good year. This year, it's going to be better. The government will do whatever we have to do to ensure that the semi-professional league works, and the young people of St. Lucia, particularly the young footballers, see football as a means of making a living, a means of earning some income, and that is very important. So we thought we would have construed that league so that young men who otherwise would have been unemployed could play football and get some form of earnings. It's not the best. It's not the best income they can get, but it is something. And this year we intend to add a few more features. I haven't even mentioned that yet to the Minister of Sports. But this year we have a few more features, and hopefully it can grow from strength to strength. And hopefully it can grow from strength to strength, and we enjoy football and also cause the necessary discipline in our young people. The discipline and the commitment can transform from football into their daily lives.
Yeah, well, outside of the fact that there's some remuneration in place for footballers, we also seen opportunities. Damani Burfia from Ancillary being scouted by Cavalier FC out of Jamaica. We currently have Badger Edward from the Grosley football team over there in England, and they both can tell you it's as a result of them being seen in the semi-pro football league. The live stream in particular playing a huge part in terms of giving them that exposure. So not only payment for players, but opportunities as well.
Exactly. And you see, what happens is that each player must have the inspiration from the other player. So if somebody does well, you must say to themselves, I can do like that. I can do as well as him. And that's what we need to have, a healthy competition, but a commitment. So we can, those who do well can inspire the others to do the same, if not better. We need to have that level of commitment and discipline in football and in St. Lucia generally.
And this year we have a double round robin of games, so that means more games for the players. But in addition to the semi-pro football league, we also saw the advent of the semi-pro cricket league this year. So government of St. Lucia really infusing a lot of money into our sports.
Yeah, well, you see, without telling tales out of school, the Minister of Sport is very enthusiastic. He's a sportsman himself, and we have a very active rivalry in cabinet in terms of football. That those who support Arsenal, those who support Man U and Chelsea, etc. Now, what has happened is that rivalry has transformed itself into different districts. So if you're in today, LABORIE is played against Cashews East. Now you wouldn't say Marshall, we say Cashews East side. Now, each one wants to do better. And to do better, the whole must get more.
Yeah.
So then, since the whole must get more, anytime I make any suggestion to increase the support for sports, everyone raises his hand and say, yes, I agree. So you have a cabinet that is fully committed to ensuring that sports improves. And as I say to you, this year we'll add some more features in football, and next year for cricket we'll also expand it. That is just the beginning of things to come as far as sports is concerned in St. Lucia.
Yeah, and last year was a bumper year for St. Lucia. I mean, most notably the exploits of Julian Alfred, double Olympic medalist, and we have a few more athletes that are on the cusp. We saw J.D. Emmanuel at Carifta Games do fantastically well, double gold medalist there as well. So it looks like sports is looking bright for St. Lucia. We also hosted the president of CONCACAF and president of FIFA. Our very own Lyndon Cooper has been elected as the president of the Caribbean Football Union. So it's a good time for sports. You know, I wish I was 20 years younger.
And I must say that folks like you who do what you do, because you know sports space, sportsmen, the coaches, the media, the health people, the people who deal with the grounds, everyone pays their part. And folks like you at the ministry who do what you have to do, I must tell you, the promotion of sports by the journalists in this country is very, very, very acceptable. It's at a high standard, and we hope it can continue. So I want to thank everyone, the players and everyone who ensures that sports is advancing and sports is doing well. There is nothing political about sports. Sports is about people. Sports is about the human development. Sports is about discipline. And if we can get these young people from every area to aspire to play semi-professional football or cricket, I'm sure the country better for it.
All right, Honorable Pierre, thank you very much for joining us this evening. I'll allow you to go back and watch your beloved
It's
team.
3-1 now, right?
You're looking for 3 more?
6-1. We win in 6 right now. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's the Honorable Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre just joining us, his beloved Marsha team. He would have been someone involved in football in the community for some 30 years now. As the parliamentary representative, he has been pumping money into Marsha football. And of course, now as the Prime Minister, it's no different. Money being pumped into football, and it just augurs well for the continued growth of the sport. As we see one of the Marsha players being nursed off the pitch there right now. That looks like Nilson William, the number 22, has to go off the pitch. Earlier on, Critic was saying we've gone from the magic sponge to the magic spray, but it looks like the sponge is back out.
A combination of both. But Eli, Marshall seems to have, this one covered pretty much. It's all about game management now, time management, how you get around on the pitch. And despite, the sogginess, we still see the Marshall team applying the principles of play, moving the ball side to side, moving the ball throughout the midfield, having some foray runs. You still Lincoln still chasing down some balls as well. So the principles of play, despite the conditions, is there. So I want to give kudos to the Marshall technical team to ensure that, okay, it's a wet condition, we're up free, but they have not move away from what they want to do.
Yeah, that ball going all the way across the pitch there and back across the face of the goal and cleared out by LABORIE. Javon Victor on the ball once again, put a dangerous cross in. It was cleared out by the captain, Zephaniah Edwin, the number 6 for LABORIE, and ends up in a throw-in for LABORIE in the far corner, just by the corner flag, and now a goal kick. But this game kind of looks like the conditions are starting to get to the players. Critic, we kind of seen the pace that the game was played at earlier on, slowing down a little bit. Mud on the boots are heavy, the legs are heavy. It's the first competitive game of the fixtures. We see LABORIE foraying in there, nothing doing there. Door slam shut by Jarvis Joseph. Defensive midfielder dropping in between his defenders to help out. Your thoughts so far on the game, Critic?
Well, you'll get that. I mean, we are approaching the 75th minute. Eli, of course, the conditions will take a toll on the players despite the fitness level. Again, it's the opening game, so fitness levels are not at its peak just yet. But again, when you have a scoreline of 3-1, it's now time to, save some energy, ensure that you don't have no injuries. You might want to bring in 1 or 2 fringe players to ensure your marquee players are out. You want to preserve Lincoln, put him in some cotton wool for the next fixture. So there's a lot of force going on either side right now. LABORIE, of course, a bit disappointing. I mean, they haven't played too bad, but clearly you can see the levels of LABORIE and the Marshall team. But again, with the timeline in the game, I expect the game to to dwindle a bit. But Marshall still can come out there with their head up high.
Yeah. I think at the moment Lincoln Phillip will definitely be the front runner. That third goal was credited to him, surprisingly for me. But I also want to point out Kevin Francis, the central defender for Marshall. He's not only been intercepting and clearing balls, but he's also been very important in Marshall's build-up play, starting the ball from the back.
There's another player which catch my eye as well. You probably could give me the name. He's number 11 for the Marshall team.
That's Joshua Leos.
Joshua Leos is a hell of a player. See this youngster right there? This youngster could play anywhere on that pitch, and he has been very critical. He's strong. He reads the game pretty well. He has a good passing range as well. Earlier on, he whipped the ball across for Lincoln, put it on a dime for Lincoln. He wasn't able to score. But number 11 is a very, very critical player for Marshall. And there are other players as well who have played their role. But, of course, Lincoln will get before it used to be called man of the match. But now I think they had changed it to the superior player of the match. That's what I see at the Club World Cup. That's what I've seen is being featured right now. Superior player of the match.
Club World Cup seems to be gathering some steam as well. Eh?
Oh yes,
some upsets happening there.
Oh yeah, it shows the levels of football. That's why it's a global game. Eli, here's number 11 again. Look how strong he is. Look how strong he is. Not giving up at all. Very good player. But LABORIE in possession, trying to see if they can pull one back. One comes across.
Good ball whipped in one time.
Very good take by the goalkeeper right there. Here you see the passing. Marshall just have to calm themselves and keep that ball, keep the possession. That's what I like to see, Eli. That ball now being drilled towards the left side. A little too much on it. They are still able to keep it in control. Taking on his man. Good defending there by the LABORIE right back. Still in possession for Marshall. Ball comes across. Goalkeeper gathers. Not a bad outing for either team. Of course, we would have expected one to win, one to lose. But I think it's a very good opening fixture for the league in second season.
Well, if you speak to anybody from the Marshall team, they would have told you that they should have won the opening fixture in the inaugural season against Babono. Unfortunately, they went down 1-0. Not the same as we see. Valse into the penalty area and off the upright. A rocket of a right foot shot just up the goalkeeper's left upright, and a reprieve for this LABORIE team. They were nearly down 4-1.
Yeah, the bar saving them a bit right there. I see veteran. Let's keep in possession. What you need to do, how LABORIE chase that football. Coming across to the right side, time and space. Information reaching me as well, Eli, the captain for the LABORIE team. He plays for Victory Eagles. So last night he was lifting a trophy as well.
He was victorious?
He was victorious. Because Victory Eagles won the Southern League. That's in VA4.
Yeah.
Victory Eagles. Interesting.
The Janu Credit Union competition down there. Let's take this time once again to highlight the sponsors of the Semi-Pro Football League. Of course, the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports. A nice strike there!
Good save by goalkeeper.
Blistering strike there by the number 9, Zachary Joseph of LABORIE. Stinging the palms of Shem Donnelly, but
Shem was well positioned.
He was equal to it.
Mm-hmm. End-to-end action, Eli.
A little bit more pep in the step of the players. I was about to highlight our sponsors, of course, the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, the St. Lucia Football Association, National Lotteries Authority on board as well. Courts Unicoma. There we just heard the announcement a little earlier on by Chinese during the halftime of that AKT motorcycle that's up for grabs. Other shops in Lucia with Brothers Cider. They're on again in a big way. They were on last season. Brothers Cider becoming a staple with the Semi-Pro Football League, and they're on again bigger and better this year. Of course, Invest in Lucia. They're in as well. The Bank of St. Lucia. Invest in Lucia was on last year as well. Bank of St. Lucia, they're new sponsors this season, coming on in a big way. We've seen Bank of St. Lucia jumping into more sporting activities. They sponsor of the national, or were the sponsor of the national age group championships in track and field, and now they're foraying into football as well.
Corporate St. Lucia coming on board.
Yeah, coming on board, So I want to say a big thank you to the sponsors. Hopefully, as we move along through this 6-month-long campaign, we will see more of Corporate St. Lucia raising their hand and wanting to be accounted for during this Semi-Pro Football League.
The more the merrier. Of course, it's a good platform, not only to showcase your business, but of course help develop the sport even further. It's all about investment, and like the saying goes, the more the merrier. So we're hoping, like Eli mentioned, as the season progressed, that more sponsors can come on board and lift the rise of the league.
Yeah, not forgetting ES Productions in the house. Live stream compliments ES Production as we see another ball. A little wild over there, not making the most of it. You made mention that LABORIE has a height advantage over Marsha, and they would be disappointed that that ball was not played into a dangerous area and to give their players a sniff of getting on the end of it.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, it is the wrong tactic employed totally. You have a situation where you want to give your team a chance, and you just spun the opportunity. And a lot more thought needs to be given or taken into consideration when you have set players. Like I mentioned, tall players in there. So put that ball in an area. Anything could happen. Give your team a chance. They will live. They will learn. They're young still. Eventually, they'll figure it out.
Of course, I need to mention again that the head coach of this LABORIE outfit, Vance Vitalis, is not on the bench this evening and available for this opening fixture. But take nothing away from this Marsha team. They look like they are up and ready for this semi-pro league. Of course, the community of Marsha is synonymous with football, and they will definitely want to ensure that they find themselves in Tier 1 action come next season. But it's still a long way to go. Critic, lots of games to be played. This is just the first, but always good to get off on a good foot.
Oh yes, a lot of football to be played. Other teams are taking note as well. I think one of the critical factors in having a good team is to have somebody who could score goals for you up top. And clearly, Marsha has Lincoln. So we're hoping in the other game we could see who are those persons who are scoring goals for the teams. It's all well and good that you play, but you must have somebody up top to put that ball at the back of the net.
Yeah, definitely. And let me once again say good night to the folks viewing via the live stream on YouTube. No matter what time zone that you're in, good night, good morning, good day.
There's a ball coming through, number 9, persistent. LABORIE still trying to show some face. See if they can spun in a late one. That ball should be good, making its way outside. Marsha playing comfortably from the back now into midfield. That's my player, number 11. That's my player, Eli.
Lincoln there showing his guile. Another ball across.
A poor clearance there. Still able to keep it. Going down under the challenge. However, referee says play on.
There's still time for LABORIE to sort of mount some sort of comeback. Their body language sort of doesn't really suggest that they're up to it, but there is time if they can get things going. Shem Donnelly just putting that one out to touch. Take no prisoners.
His teammate saying that, they could have kept possession, but again, as a goalkeeper, general, you have already time left. You don't want to chance the situation. Some changes there, some fresh players coming in for the LABORIE team.
Lincoln Phillip dropping deeper and deeper into the game now as it goes down, winds down, I should say. still as fit as any other player out there. It's we're just about then they're about the 80th minute of this contest, and Lincoln, who's into his 40s, looks just as fit as any other player on the park.
Lincoln is the Roger Miller of the league. Remember Roger Miller for Cameroon?
Correct. Another clearance there by Kevin Francis. And then LABORIE just about getting in, and Francis is there again, this time not just clearing the ball but getting it into the feet of Phillips to start off the attack for Marsha. But of course, keeping possession a little bit more important for Marsha at this point in time. Francis again out to his fullback, playing that off of LABORIE.
Showing confidence and reading of the game. Here's my player, Eli. There's the entire left possession.
Not really interested.
It's good. It's all right. Time management. Such an upfield pass for Lincoln. Pulling back. Again, good play by Marchand team, using every inch or every width of the midfield park, trying to get the ball up. Slows down the momentum of the LABORIE team.
Philip again. He's living off the right flank in the second half. Off the left flank in the first half, he got a goal. Off the right flank in the second half, he got a goal.
Lincoln basically just roaming from side to side and, giving his passes, taking his chances. So clearly it's a plan deployed by Alvin Xavier and the coaching staff for the Marchand team.
Could probably say Lincoln is the Philip for everything good with this Marchand team.
Well, you know how important the Phillips is. There's a flat end. Lincoln is a Phillips.
Leos over the ball, about to deliver that one into the danger area for Marsha. Marsha has not really been getting enough loft on some of their crosses into the box or their balls into the box. A very flat, low trajectory. I don't know if that's what they are trying to do or just the execution is just off.
I think the execution is a bit off because remember they're battling the conditions as well. So that ball might be it's sitting right, but it's a technique. You really have to, plant your foot under that ball to get the whip, the pace, and the trajectory that you want. So it's something that they need probably to work on in practice. But clearly, you can see what they're trying to do. And should those balls come to the area in the right pace, Eli, trust me, it will cause some serious problems.
Joshua Leos again winning possession there and distributing well to the fullback. Lincoln Philip making that outside run on the right flank there. And of course, his guile coming into play there.
I think we can say Marchand have this fixture all wrapped up. Of course, the PM is in attendance. They wouldn't want to disappoint the Prime Minister. I think it was a good show, and I heard the Prime Minister saying that he wants to give LABORIE 6. But 3 will do. 3 will do.
Well, Marsha, we're also known for playing dominoes as well, So.
Yeah. You remember domino also has a free hand.
Correct.
So 3 will do.
Correct. I believe Marsha did score 6 in one game last season. If my memory
That was
serves
down
me
at
correctly.
Dennery,
Yeah, down at
Yeah, I
Dennery.
don't remember the opponent, but I think
Yeah.
it wasn't down at Dennery.
Of course, we've also seen them up 4-2 and lose the game 5-4.
Yeah. But they will learn from that, Eli. Again, too, some of the players from last season are not, on that current squad. But even when they played against Barbono last season, they were a bit naive. Now you have some more senior players, for example, Lincoln. So the message gets across. The message gets across that there are times you're going to be under the cosh. You weather that storm. You take your chances and you play. You play. And that's what it is.
So what I've also observed with this Marsha team is that they've been more compact, as we see Fajan Charles, the number 8 in Fonaz Valse. They've been more compact. They've been able to close down the spaces available for LABORIE for the most part in the game. There was a 15-20 minute spell in the opening of the second half where LABORIE seemed to be finding gaps at will, but they've been able to cope with that. And that's not something we've seen from this Marsha outfit in the first edition of the Semi-Pro Football League. They would generally lose their shape, get out of position, leave holes, leave gaps for the opposition to exploit. But we've seen them with a more disciplined display tonight.
I think what we saw from season 1 was a lot of individual players. So I don't think Marsha was clearly a team per se. And this is where the maturity and the growth comes in. Again, you have a guy like Alvin. So definitely he's going to come with that. So you've seen more of a team approach from the Marsha in the second season rather than individualism last season.
That's a very good observation as well. Coach Alvin Xavier, of course, I think he also marshals the Marsha Veterans team, player coach. Former national player.
A teammate of mine as well too, so he's a good guy.
Also doing work with the Boys Training Center.
Lives and breathes football.
Oh, very good ball there. In there and a shot on goal.
Not bad at all.
LABORIE would have hoped they could have done better there.
I don't know if you've realized as well too, Eli, despite the scoreline, the LABORIE team have never stopped playing. I mean, yes, the score is 3-1 in favor of Marsha, but we don't see the heads drop. Many times you see youngsters, they're not into the contest and they stop. LABORIE has been persistent. They've kept at it. They're trying to see if they can, make sense of what the scoreline is. A through ball there by Lincoln, defended there by the central defender. A player down, seeking some attention. The referee have not seen it as yet.
And unless if it's a head injury, the referee is not obligated to stop play.
I see him holding on to his right side towards the head area, so we'll see what happens.
Rahim Alcindo there, the player down. That's another player who doesn't go down easily.
Yeah, well, great. He's a tough customer. Who knows? He may have just gotten a little. The medic will, of course, assist and deal with the situation. He's back on his feet. Not bad a crowd on the opening day, Eli. Of course, the word will get around that the season has opened. Football fanatics from all over the country. We'll be looking forward to fixtures at various venues. As Eli mentioned, the fixture is not compact like last season. You're going to see matches all over the island, so you could keep your ears peeled and your eyes open. Various platforms of social media, television and all. taking those fixtures and come support your district, your team, your young players, family, whichever aspect of football you want to see, you could surely get a piece of the action in the semi-pro league.
That ball played down the line there. LABORIE on the right flank. Sort of get the feeling that there's the final whistle. I was about to say, you sort of get the feeling that LABORIE is missing that one player, that little bit of spark that can get past the player one-on-one, open up space. But 3-1 is the final score here at the Mindu Phillip Park. Marsha 3 goals to the good. Well, not 3 goals to the good, but 3 goals scored versus the 1 goal of LABORIE. Lincoln Phillip on the scorecard twice, along with the captain Naz Valse. And of course, the lone goal scored by Zach Boland of LABORIE. Very interesting opening fixture, critic.
Yes, good result for Marsha. A good result, good showcase for the league in itself. Of course, you want to see a game that will catch the attention of our viewers from home, from far, from near, from wherever. So good opening fixture, good result for Marsha. Of course, that will take LABORIE back to the drawing board. They could go down the road with nothing to be ashamed of. I think they play. It's just that this Marsha team were up for it, and they're a bit better than them. And the difference in the game is the goal scoring. That's what you mentioned earlier, that LABORIE is missing something.
Yeah.
LABORIE is missing a Lincoln. Not a Cadillac.
Well, the next matchup on the cards is going to be the newcomers to Tier 1. That's South Castries. Coincidentally, South Castries went unbeaten for the entire season and faltered in the final.
That's how.
Faltered in the final, man. They did a manu. But they're coming up against a Grosley outfit, slightly depleted. We'll tell you guys a little bit more about that when you come back for game 2 on the night. It's Grosley coming up against newcomers South Castries in Tier 1. But for now, signing out, myself, Elijah Williams, and the critic, Tennyson Glasgow.
Dream big, make it your own. Home sweet gets you any style of home. Be yourself saying home sweet home with a home sweet mortgage. You are number one. Home sweet, home quest, home flex, home switch. Need a new home, we get it. Home sweet, home quest, home flex, home switch. Act now when you won't regret it. POSL. Bank of St. Lucia's enhanced home sweet mortgages are designed around you. Home flex, a home equity line of credit. Home quest for professionals building new dreams. And home switch, time to bring your mortgage home to us. Home sweet mortgages, make it your own. Home sweet, home quest, home flex, home switch. Need a new home, we get it. POSL. For more information, call 456-6999 or go to bankofstlucia.com. POSL.
In the heart of every community lies a dream waiting to come true as a journey begins. We dribble through life's hurdles, breaking down its barriers, looking beyond the horizon. Lessons are learned, friendships are forged, and strength is birthed from within. Beyond tactics and goals, we strive as a team. With discipline and perseverance, we advance. Through every kick, stumble, and victory, our lives are changing, and together we rise.
It's not just a game. Football